Paint over there.
Yeah. We're live. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the Kids Club for this month, the June Kids Club pick because it's June. And the book we're doing is Poppy with an exclamation point and the Lost Lagoon. Not merely Poppy and the Lost Lagoon, but Poppy. I love the energy in the title. And we're here with Matt Kindt and Brian Hurtt. Jordan, you want to show that? There they are. So Matt is that is.
This is Matt.
Right. This is Matt. That's Matt.
This is Brian.
Brian. The other one's Brian. Hello, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here.
I'm really
Thanks
glad.
for having us here.
Yeah, glad to have you here on a Sunday morning. Loved the book. We loved the book. I've heard a lot of good things from. We only have a couple kids here this morning, but a lot of people have said they really thought it was terrific. So I guess let's start with maybe the genesis of this. Where did this come from? Where did you guys? What part of your brain did this come from?
Well, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is what we're doing right now is kind of where it started. We were sitting at a comic book convention on a Sunday, and it was a little slow, and Brian started sketching. Was Hulk the first one we did?
I don't know if it might have been.
He started sketching like this, and I was like, hey, let me have that, and I'll paint it. And so we just started cranking these out, and we put them on the table, and all of a sudden people were coming over and liking them and buying them, and we just kept doing more and more. And then that's really what and we'd always talked about stories. We'd always talk about stories and stuff. I have to turn it down a bit. But
Jordan, you want to show the what they're drawing too?
Oh yeah, so we carpool a lot and talk about stories, and so Poppy sort of came out of that, where we just sort of brainstormed, came up with stuff we were going to write and draw, and just sort of jammed it all into one book. That's kind of Poppy.
Yeah, it was about us.
Yeah, it was about us doing
it was just pure fun for us. Not a job anyway, but more something we do in our free time. Just for pure enjoyment. We had intentions originally to publish it. It was just something we were doing on fun. We got going, and as it kind of became bigger and bigger. Will you hold your hands out?
Nice. No, that's that is for something that was not planned to be long. This is a good solid book. Is that a special brush? I don't think I've seen a brush like that before. Am I crazy?
This is my watercolor brush. Yeah. I'm trying to get it in frame here. Yeah, so I use these.
Oh, it's a normal watercolor. Okay.
It's just like a travel set.
Nice.
This is the brush I use for
Alright, what made you guys choose to use watercolor as opposed to something else?
Well, Matt can probably answer that because he's the watercolorist, but just from my point of view, I love how sort of organic and loose it looks. It looks sort of alive, more so than the computers do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even like writing on the computer, so as much as I can, I try to do everything on paper and trace the materials I can. And the watercolors, where it's kind of fun. And it has sort of a loose quality. You don't have total control of watercolor. It sort of takes over at a certain point. And it makes it fun, and I think like the way Brian's drawing with these lines and everything, it sort of goes like tight, like controlled computer.
Yeah, we're both working very loosely and intentionally, both with the pencils and the watercolors. They sort of give the art a lot of life. And honestly, it's been the most fun I've ever had drawing.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, because it came out really well.
Yeah,
well, thank you.
Thanks.
It really seems like it was drawn watercolor, and it really looks great.
Thank you very much.
So this is an interesting question about watercolor, though. Did you get any pages in here that like you just blew them. You just it was working, and then the watercolor just didn't work.
I think
did that happen at all?
Page 32, I think.
Oh, is it actually in the book?
No,
I'm
just joking.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna go.
I don't even know what 32 is. Oh yeah, we did mess up that one.
32 is they're on the book. That's 32.
Yeah. No, the title page I took a couple stabs at, you know, and
Yeah.
I think usually I'm used to working small with watercolor, but then that page was so big that I wasn't used to it, and then the watercolor did some crazy stuff that you know, you don't really have total control of watercolor, but sometimes it goes too out of control, and that page took some doing to get it right. But yeah, the title page was a train wreck.
What size do you guys work at?
Do we have any pages?
I don't think we have any pages. We work. It's 12. Is it 14 by 17? I think. Yeah,
okay.
Bigger.
I have a sample page. I got nothing on it though.
Yeah, it's we work on watercolor. Pads, and I think it's 18 by 18 by.
I haven't any pages to show you. It's about this size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and we've talked about this a couple times, guys, about how they how comics get shrunk down so that you can see that page is as big as your chest probably, and then the book is down in this little digest size. So that's always an interesting process to see.
Okay. Do you have both cameras on? Or just
yes.
Just us?
Well, we can switch back and forth. So
okay. Well, Matt was
we're looking at the art right now.
Yeah, Matt was going to show you some older art here.
Yes. I think this is the first thing I ever. This is the first thing I ever. Just do that. That's probably better. That was the first thing I ever. That was the first thing I ever painted. You know what that's from?
It's my version of the Boogeyman.
It's my version of the Boogeyman. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look on the back of some characters. It's total disregard for my back.
I think it might be the other way around.
Yeah. And then what else? So this is another page we did as a test. You can see the.
Oh, nice.
You can see Brian's inks.
The inks and then this is a colored version above.
This is a colored version of pencils.
Very nice.
But this was done a couple years before we even copy. This is just when we were exploring, working together, and what it would look like on a comics page. And that might be the first drawing copy.
Changed a little bit.
Are you going to share a studio space? Is that what I understand?
Yes, we do. That's a relatively new thing.
I'm blocking you out, but look at the chased by giant bees. I think that's going to be in the sequel.
We'll see. But yeah, no, we share a studio space. We've been doing that for probably almost 2 years now. But we've been friends for quite a while. And before the studio space, we would still get together and work in a coffee shop or at my apartment. So it's only been the past. Since we got the studio that we started actually working on Poppy together.
Okay. And do you think that being in the same space, in the same studio space, is what allowed you to do Poppy, or would you have done it anyway?
I think we may have done it anyway, but it's so particular to this experience that we actually enjoy working in the same room at the same time. We like the back and forth. I'll literally be sitting at the same table and hand a page across the table to Matt, and Matt will start coloring it. And then while I'm drawing another one, I might be asking him questions about what was going on here in the script, or how about if I try this? So it's real collaborative back and forth at the table, and I think it makes this experience unique.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
If we hadn't shared space, just because to me half the fun was just being in the same room and kicking things back and forth, and painting pages back and forth, and that was the fun part to me,
Yeah, it was like being your age, kids, and just hanging out with your friends and making comics. That's basically what took us back to.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good.
Not yet.
How did you get the idea for? How did you get the idea for the Gigantopus?
I think that's all Matt.
Yeah.
Matt just likes giant underwater monsters, is what it comes down to, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love every underwater thing, like submarines and what else? All the creepy stuff. I think mostly because I'm scared of everything that's under the water. Like I don't mind being in a pool or swimming, but I don't like being in water where I can't see into it. Like if my feet are down there and I can't see my feet, like it's the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling. And then when something brushes against your legs, it's like the creepiest thing ever. So I think it came out of my terror of But then Brian drew it in such a way. He's got like this cute way. He's got like big cheeks, giant eyes. He ended up being like super sweet looking at the end. So.
And he might have been my favorite thing to draw in the book.
It's funny that you say that you're scared of water, because your other comic that Matt that you're doing right now is this is not a comic for kids, but you know Matt's other comic is Department H, which you see actually is depth, and it's all set underwater too. Yeah, I got it. That says it's interesting that you've got two kind of underwater things going on at the same time then.
Yeah.
Was that coincidence, or did one lead to the other?
Yeah, it's a itch I've always wanted to scratch, I guess, and then it just happened that I scratched it, double scratched it this year. If that makes any sense. No, I when I was a kid, there used to be these things called Adventure People. And this is before any of your kids' time, probably, but they were like before G.I. Joe, and but they were adventure people, so they came with boats and submarines and helicopters, and they would go on adventures, you know, and they were just like literally like that big. But I remember playing with those all the time, and I would come up with stories, and I was playing with toys as a kid, and if anything, this is just me as an adult, sort of like rather than toys.
So we have a question from the internet, and I think we only have two viewers. Okay, so both of you can ask questions. Don't forget. So this is from P&J, which is Parker and Jack, and there's actually two questions here, so we'll ask them one at a time. And Parker and Jack's question is if there is a sequel, will there be more variety of characters? Is that what that says, Doug?
That sounds right.
That's a pretty good variety of characters there. That's almost okay. What's your response to that?
I think the answer is yes, but we have no idea what we have a lot of ideas, and we have some ideas for some new characters that join with our old characters, but we haven't really worked it out too far yet. And it's just kind of how, especially on Pop, it's kind of how we work. We sort of, I don't want to say flew by the seat of our pants, but we like to sort of just intuitively go where the story takes us. So we haven't planned too far ahead. A sequel would be a little while off still.
Yeah, I think it depends on what mood we're in when we start working on it.
Right. Yeah. Well, we might be into robots by that time. So there might be a lot of robots, or there might be a lot of mummies. I don't know.
Mummies are always good.
Or mummies and robots.
There's gonna be mummies.
Mummy robots.
Robots eventually.
About mummies, yeah.
Mummy bots.
Yeah, mummy bots, yeah. Mumbots. Mumbots, exactly. Mumbots. There we go. You've already got it figured out.
Mumbots. Writing it down myself.
You're welcome.
Yeah, do it. So there's a feeling in the script of a certain level of stream of consciousness. Did you script the whole thing out, or were you scripting it kind of page by page, section by section?
Yeah, I think the first few three or four pages, we just sat down and did that. Like
literally the first few pages we were watching a movie at Matt's house, and I was like, okay, what should I draw next? And I would literally draw the next panel next. So that's how the book started, with us making up as we go along. And then Matt went off and wrote the script, but I would think he'd probably say he wrote it more stream of conscious in the fact that he wrote it start to finish over a short period of time. And then he went back and started, polishing it up and everything.
Yeah, I don't recommend writing that way, because then you have to go back and fix everything that doesn't make sense from your stream of consciousness. So yeah, I wouldn't normally write that way, but it was fun.
Well, I really appreciated it, because I felt as though there was just a lot of ideas. Like every page there was a new idea, and every page there was something fresh, and every page, and comics. That's one of the most exciting things about comics to me. You don't see that in movies, right? It's very, very rare that you watch a movie where like things just change from scene to scene, and you can totally do that in comics. And I just that sort of that idea generation machine is something that I really love about comics.
Well, same here. We love the fact. I mean, there's no limitations to comics except for your imagination. So, and how much work you want to put into it. But that's what I love is that blank page and knowing, I can make this anything I want to, and I can go anywhere I want to, and I can go anywhere I want to, and I don't have to ask anybody.
There's no budget. There's no in comic book. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah. So there are things in here which strike me as they're there almost just to make you guys laugh among yourselves.
Probably.
I'm thinking in particular every time that Poppy calls the captain, and it's always just like crazy mix-ups of the language, and that just I get the impression that you guys are just sitting there kind of giggling to one another. Is that?
Well, that's probably more of a case of Matt giggling to himself.
Come on, that's funny.
But yeah, no, I mean that's again, that's part of the joy of it is in the moment. If we have an idea or something that just makes us laugh, we can put it right there on the page as we're working on it together.
Yeah, honestly, I have a huge problem with names and remembering names too. So I think there was a character in there. I don't remember his name. Schweitzer? This character here.
He's one of the guys in the. But that's him.
This remember this part?
Yeah.
So that was based on a friend of ours, Chris Schweitzer, who's a cartoonist as well. He does the programs, adventure stories, and then I renamed him for the book, and then when I was writing it, I couldn't remember his name from page to page, so I was like, I'll name him something different. So he's called something different at different times in the book, but that's mostly because of me. Kind of making fun of myself for remembering.
Well, I think another bit Matt's making is whenever Poppy and Hurtt argue, it's very much like us, bickering in the office. So,
which makes everybody uncomfortable. Because this is how it goes. It's how we are.
But I think it was Matt. It was Matt.
It was not me working out issues. Working out your issues.
Here, I got another drawing.
That one's got to dry.
How long did you work on this? Like, how long did it take?
Well, actual work, maybe just a few months, but we actually started about 2 years ago or so. Matt and I we rented a cabin, and we went away for like 3 days, and all we did was work. And we had the floor covered with art. And we were exhausted when we got back. And we just sat around for a while. We both got very busy with our projects. And then we started up again this past year around Christmas. And worked on it for a couple months. Finish it up. But compared to most comics, it's a process because we're both working in a very loose, sort of immediate style. So like a book like this would be 6 to 8 months. But of this size, in this case, it's probably 3+ months.
I think that's the other beauty of watercolor is the immediacy of it, and the fact that you can't really go over it, and you can't size it too much. You just gotta get in and let it do it. Sort of aids and it go quicker. Like you can paint. I painted like 22 pages in a day one time. I wasn't happy.
Wow.
I was not happy doing that because it was literally working all day nonstop. But the nature of watercolor is such a quick medium that you don't benefit by laboring. Overworking,
So the more you work watercolors, the muddier it gets, and the worse the final product is.
Yeah, so it lends itself to it.
In terms of just the straight. In terms of the straight drawing, Brian, so were you doing more than a page a day, it sounds like?
Oh, yeah.
On average?
You know, I mean, at a minute, when I was working full time on the project, at a minimum, I was probably doing 3 or 4 pages a day, and sometimes upwards to 7 or 8. But those are very, very long days.
Yeah, those aren't that happy.
Right.
Those are deadline days. But yeah, no, I think comfortably I could do a page in a couple hours in this style. So yeah, 3 or 4 pages. And normally, like on 6, which is my other comic book, I worked on the last several years. That's about a page a day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was going to be the next comparison I was going to ask to make, but you jumped ahead. It's all good. It's all good. So let's go to Parker and Jack's second question, which is, why is Colt so paranoid about magic?
Why is Colt so paranoid about magic?
Because he's a man of science. He doesn't trust magic. So I think
he's a man of action.
Yeah. And magic doesn't make any sense. So he doesn't like it.
It's kind of like Han Solo in Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. He doesn't like those wizards. Those crazy old wizards. What's strange? Is that you drinking my drink?
That's funny. I liked that his name wasn't Colt Winchester. I thought that was good. But that's me. I don't know. I'm an old man. You guys got any thoughts or questions, comments you want to make, statements? Yeah.
Hey. First, hello? Okay. Okay. A tremendous appreciation for your artwork. I felt on certain pages I could just fall into it, especially the aqua, what I call the aqueduct ride.
Oh, yeah.
It's very beautiful, and sometimes I love graphic novels. I've come to them late, and sometimes you see ideas that are just like, the words have to get on the page, and you sort of feel like the art is kind of following afterwards. It was not the case with your work, and a lot of gratitude for that. I guess my question, listening to how you guys do pages, is do you feel you work better under a deadline, that more stuff comes out as the deadline comes closer than just leisurely pacing along?
I think I'm more focused when there's a deadline. I don't know if the work is better, but probably so, because when you have a deadline, you can get into a rhythm easier, and you can get into the zone, if you will, and things come a little easier, and you start to. Yeah, I think I probably do work better under a deadline, and I think writing. Matt can probably speak to this a lot better, but I think writing under a deadline is actually pretty interesting and can bear some interesting fruit.
Yeah, I think this idea where you wait for inspiration and you use something is ridiculous. Like that never happens to me. Sometimes ideas will occur to me when I'm not thinking about it, but if I waited for that, I'd be waiting forever. But I think I learned that back when I got out of college and I had a day job and I was doing comics at night just to try to get into the business and figure out how to make it work. I just made my own deadlines. No one was waiting for me to finish a book. No one was clamoring to see what I was going to do next. I had to set up my own deadlines and then hit those deadlines like they were real. Like everything depended on me getting that work done on time. Even though nothing did. And my wife was always like, why do you put these crazy deadlines on yourself? You're putting yourself under all this pressure and you're stressing yourself out to get this done? And because I knew that I think almost everybody has lazy in them, and then that's the part you got to fight, is to fight the part where you're like, I could play a video game, I'd rather watch a movie, I'd rather just do anything but do this thing that is kind of hard, and something that puts yourself out there and sort of exposes your ideas and yourself to other people. I think there's something kind of scary about that, where everything in you is subconsciously trying to fight against getting that work done. And so I think if you make yourself do it, it gets done. But if you don't make yourself do it, you tend to not get a lot of work done. Some of my favorite artists, I was like, they frustrate me because I feel like they don't make those deadlines for themselves, and I just want more of their art. And I think if they gave themselves deadlines, we'd have more of it. Yeah, deadlines are good.
So okay, I guess the question then is, and you seem to be motivated by an internal deadline, but external deadlines. Well, no, actually, you answered the question, and there's just one little side. Oh, a gratitude comment. I love Captain character because it's kind of like Q gets to go along for the ride. Q
Yeah.
does all the cool stuff, and he's just always there, and he's like the mom I want to be, right?
Yeah.
Just knowing where to be, which side of the island. You
Yeah,
know?
that's pretty awesome. You just need a submarine and a helicopter.
Yeah, I don't think
Exactly. I'm just short on equipment. And I've never seen. I mean, again, I'm new to this. I really appreciated the watercolors because I noticed how like one color can shade a face. Like on Ramsey, I was looking at one page last night, and you get so much out of color, and I'm appreciative. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, it was funny when you said the captain's kind of like the mother. I don't think we ever discussed that, but I had the same feeling when I was drawing those scenes. Like he was, in some ways, like just there's the maternal aspect. He's always there for them, and he's always there at the right time, and he's calm and. But yeah, no, he's great, and we're also big James Bond fans, so of course there's probably a little bit of Q in there.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm curious. This is a question pretty much just for Matt, I think. You're a bit of a, I don't know, polyglot, I guess, when it comes to comics. You write and you draw, and that's not really that common for people to. I mean, it's common enough for people to write and draw their own material, but it's not that common for artists to then write for other people. Is it a different set of muscles that you're using to do that? Is it a challenging process to sort of switch in your brain, or is it all just comics to you?
No, honestly, to me, it's kind of a relief. Like Brian knows, we share the studio, so like I'll spend 2 weeks where I'm just writing constantly, and I get burned out. Like you do anything for 2 weeks in a row, for that many hours, you just get tired of it. So what I love is being able to switch gears, and it's like, oh, now it's time to draw Department H. So then for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm just drawing all day, and it's sort of like it definitely works different muscles, and satisfies a different part of what I like doing, which is that's why I got into comics in the first place. Like I love writing and I love drawing. It's the only job where you can kind of do both if you want, and so I like switching back and forth, and it keeps me interested, keeps me from getting bored, and then and also I think as an artist too, I feel like the scripts I turn into other artists are better because I feel like I've drawn from my script, so I know what can be done and what can't be done, and I like working with artists like Brian on Poppy. Man, I know I could turn in a loose script for him like I would write for myself, and he's gonna add a panel here or make the characters act in a way and really sell the story, where I didn't even need to put a lot of that in there, Honestly, Poppy, all the strength from that comes from not from the writing so much as the art selling the writing, Oh, hey Brian, you're here.
That's the nicest thing he's ever said in my presence.
Yeah, I know. Don't let go of your head as soon as this camera goes off. No, but I think that's the thing is like if you're working with a storyteller, like Brian's a great storyteller, and I feel like Poppy, as much as I was writing it, we were writing it together in a lot of ways because the art is hard to separate it from the writing, and to me it's super artificial to just write a script and turn it into an artist that I've never talked to or worked with or have an interaction with after I've turned the script in, and I think it's harder to do that, and so anyway, I just rambled on. And I think I answered a different question, but
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, because there was a point where it seemed like you were writing like 5 or 6 comics at a moment. They probably weren't writing them concurrently, but there was at least 1 month there where it was like 6 different comics came out with.
He probably was, and he probably still is writing about 5 a month.
No, quiet. No, I do. Well, that's what weekends are for. Weekends are for writing.
Mm-hmm. So let me reverse the question though. So with all of that writing that you're doing for other people, does that influence your own art at all?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I think you would be. I would be silly not to learn from the people I'm working with. You know, it's like it's Brian, or I'm doing some stuff with this other artist, David Rubin, who's drawing something for me now, and I'm like, you turn that stuff in, and it is interesting to see my scripts interpreted, you know, and you see where panels are added or things have changed, and I'm constantly trying to study that stuff and learn from people that are better than me. I mean, that's the only way to do it is do what works, watch artists that are better than you, and copy them. I mean, be inspired. Copy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the same. Let's cut back to the Spider-Man for a second, just so we can see where that went.
It's still
that's nice.
It's still drying, so you kind of have to work in layers, where you put a first layer of color down, and then you go in, and then just add.
Because Parker and Jack say, "What are you going to draw after that Spider-Man?"
What does he want? Wolverine?
Sure, Wolverine. There you go. There's a Wolverine. There you go. Very nice.
That's what I'm working on right now. That's why I keep looking down. I'm drawing over here. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. You got another one?
You might have already addressed this. How you got into? Well, again, new person, but are watercolors unusual in graphic novels? Okay. And
go ahead.
Yeah, the only one I know is Jim Muth, or the one who does all the poetry stuff. Thank you. How that's most kids are drawing and coloring. How did you find your way into watercolors? That's my main thing.
Yeah, my wife does watercolors. So when we met in school, she was doing watercolors, and I was only doing black and white because I was terrible at color. Like, I didn't know anything about it. Never took color theory, and she'd taken all the classes, and she knew how to do all that stuff. So I basically learned from her just by watching her, by copying her. And, no, she showed me how to do things, and then gradually over time I started to feel more confident doing it, you know. And then by the time I got to mind management, I was painting every day. And yeah, I don't know how common it is. I know there's
I feel like
people that use it, but
I feel like I'm seeing a lot more of it in comics now. If you like 2 or 3 years ago, I'd say there's hardly anybody watercoloring, but I feel like I'm just seeing a lot more of it out there. And I can't name any names right now because I can't think. But I feel like Jeff Lemire's done some.
Tyler Crook.
Tyler Crook, who does Harrow County. I think that's a gouache, but it looks very much like watercolor. Of course, there's European artist Ray Fox, who's done some work. He does watercolors.
Yeah.
I guess those are covers of Plutone that were watercolor, but I don't think the interiors aren't. Yeah, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of watercolor coming out. I think people are gravitating towards it because I think it stands out on the stands and looks different than everything else out there, and it feels like you can see the artist's hand at work, and I think that's what people respond to.
I think a lot of European artists use it.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
And a lot of us we're influenced by a lot of European artists. This book definitely was. Absolutely.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, just sort of from a historical point of view on that, is that it's really only been in the last, decade or so, probably, that reproduction is going to work particularly well for watercolor. Sort of traditionally in comics were colored in a flat coloring, and it was actually the colorist would go and they would assign a code that was the CMYK, and they would write a number down. And then somebody else would go, and I don't even know technically how it worked, but they were writing numbers for what the colors were supposed to be rather than actually coloring the comic itself. And it's only since the digital age that it's even really possible. I assume you're scanning the pages, right? Something like that?
Yeah, we're just scanning, man. Yeah, the printing process, everything's been so much easier. Yeah, you used to have to. I got out of school right at the end of that, where you would have to cut, literally, take an X-Acto and cut ruby lith, and then paste it onto this clear acetate, and then those would be the layer. It was crazy what you had to do to get the color separations, and I would never have done it. I said when I got out of school, if Photoshop hadn't been invented, I wouldn't what I'm doing. I'm in trouble.
But it's also, you seem to get more pages done. From previous times when we've talked to artists who've been here, they're actually getting more pages done watercoloring, it seems.
Yeah, I do. I think people use watercolor. You know that you can't really spend a lot of time on it. It doesn't behoove you to labor over it, you know, because the more you push it, the less you have those like happy accidents, the less you get the little I don't know, the way the watercolor pools out and everything. You just don't get that if you're taking a lot of time doing it. This is my favorite thing in watercolor. If you look at that, like, see that little bit above the pulp?
Right.
Like, I love, like, all that stuff. That's not planned or whatever. It's just you sort of put it down and then that stuff sort of happens.
The cooling and the bleeding.
Yeah. And that's the stuff that's fun to look at, you know. And also it does stuff to doing something where you're doing a monthly comic book. You can do that a lot faster. And you
And what's interesting, I know that when he's watercoloring, he really has to be working on it at the time because you have to wait for the watercolor. He'll do a pass on one page and then pass on another page and put his sign to another page. Then he goes back around. The next pass on that. He's usually working on 3 to 5.
It's an assembly line.
Do you have to do a lot of do you have to do a lot of post-production to make sure that it, you know, it prints the way that you want it to print? Like in terms of scanning. I mean, you know, because
that's the other thing I love about watercolor. What it is what it is. Like, I adjust the contrast a little bit in Photoshop, but I don't. Other than that, I don't touch it. It is what it is, and that's what I kind of like. That's what I kind of like. Time on the computer also maximizes the amount you can see the hand of the artist or whatever. I'm not overworking the color where you can't see the lines underneath. It's my favorite art.
Nice. So let me go to the room here. Maybe you guys have thought of something over the last couple of minutes about a question or a thought, or was there any particular part you liked about the book in particular?
Well, I thought it was kind of funny when Poppy gave the other guy. I'm not really good with names.
Yeah, me neither. That's fine. Fine.
The the can with the where you turn it upside down and it goes milk.
Oh, yeah.
That was really funny.
Yeah, have you seen those in real life? Those are real, you know.
Yeah,
sure.
Everybody's.
I
like for it now.
And it's the sucking. It's like the blood needlefish would have easily killed 20 of our best men. Blood sucking.
I enjoyed those needlefish as he's getting dizzier.
As they get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part. That was the funniest to me. Because then Colt starts to get lightheaded and then he passes out. That was my favorite part.
Yeah. Well, especially because he gets all the needles, you know, the darts at the front, and he just kind of shrugs that off, you know.
Right. Yeah.
That was good. What was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part was the part where they were in this tent, and then so Colt goes to sleep, and it's like loud snoring, and Poppy's like, ugh. And then she goes to sleep and it's even louder.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. And then they wake up. Oh, you have a oh, what did you do now? This is like, let's camp at the colossal caves. Nothing. It's just a cave. Nothing bad can happen. But you know, it was the mouth of a rock snake.
You
have a real talent.
I like that whole scene. That was a lot of fun to I mean, really, it was all Matt's writing there, but it was a lot of fun to cartoon those two sort of bickering back and forth. And you know they love each other, but you can see that they also have a history and different sort of defined roles. But that was a lot of fun, especially the Poppy snoring bit.
Yeah, you know, that's pulled from. This whole comic is autobiographical. We go to a lot of comic book conventions together, so the conventions usually they only want to buy us one room. So we're like, okay, we'll get one room, but you got to give us 2 beds. So Brian snores horribly. I also snore.
Yeah.
So that to me, it's always a race to see who can get to sleep first, so that you don't have to hear the other guy snoring and be up.
This is true.
He's the louder one, but I have more of a whistly sound in my snore, you know, which I think is probably more annoying.
Well, certainly one of the great things about this book is the density of the humor, the density of the jokes. I mean, there's just a lot of information per square inch, which again I think is one of the sort of magical things about comics. You know, it's very hard to make movies or books dense in that same kind of fashion because the reader doesn't control the pace at which it unfolds.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that makes comics great, I think.
Well, I think if we get a chance and we get to do another Poppy, I want to do more of the. Some of my favorite stuff was like the scene where they walk into the Pharaoh's penthouse and you see that giant room and all those odd things all around the room. I love drawing that sort of stuff, but I also like the cutaway of the submarine where you get to see the inside workings of the submarine.
Possibly, but I don't know.
Wait, what? Yeah, we have that.
We can't pick it back up again. We would have to start us out.
No, they can pursue technology.
We came a few minutes late. Did they show like the brushes that he uses?
Well, they've shown a close-up or two of what he's doing.
Yeah, I saw some of the water.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm not sure what happened. If you want to just click on
if you have an actual question, you can ask too.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's cool.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
No, I don't.
Are we still broadcasting? Yeah, we're still broadcasting.
So we'll pause and then we'll come back in.
Oh, there they are. Okay, great.
Hello.
Welcome back.
How's it going? We broke it.
Welcome back. Very good.
We were talking about you.
So somebody kicked the power cord. You guys want to go back and do more of this, I assume, right?
Yeah. I think we kind of set it up, and we left like that little ending on the end. We have there's like a bigger story, you know, that has to do with Poppy and some of her history that we'd like to get to if we can.
Okay, because Parker and Jack's next question may be just way too specific. They say, why can't Pappy reveal himself to Colt? But you're going to say we can't answer that, right?
There is a very specific reason for that, yes. But we can't reveal it. That would be in the next book. Yeah. But he's unable. Let's just say he's unable to at this point. He would love to, but he's unable to.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't.
I have one, and you don't have to answer it. It may be a very stupid question. That last frame, what is on his finger? Is that a tear? Is that a contact lens?
It's a tear.
It's a tear.
Yeah, I have to look, but I think it's probably yes, it's a tear.
Yes.
It's a tear. I'm sorry. I thought it was kind of like maybe some special crystal that will be revealed in a.
Yeah.
No, just a tear.
I blame the colorist.
Sorry.
So let me ask the question. Do any of you guys have 3D glasses? Did you?
No, but I do have these clear blocks, and I did not do it yet, but I probably will do it.
Okay. Is this 3D? Is this blue green, or is this the wavy one?
Yeah, it's blue-red. Anaglyph, I think that's what it's called. My dad is like a huge 3D expert, so he did all the 3D, which is 2 panels basically, but he did all the 3D in the book. It was really important for me that there were 3D panels in this book because we had everything else. Everything else, puzzles. We needed 3D.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. What else did I want to ask? Oh, I know what I wanted. So I have two more questions there that are kind of related, I guess. So the first question is I know, Matt, you have a daughter. I'm not sure about you, Brian. How much of this was none?
No.
Okay.
I have nephews though.
Well, no. My question was how much of this was for the kids and how much was it for yourselves? So you gave me a quick none there.
The truth is it was all for us. but Matt will say, yeah, he's probably got a different answer.
Yeah, I think it never occurred to me to do an all ages book until I had a kid, and I was like, oh. And then when she was old enough to read, and she's wanting to look at, she's watching me do these books all day, every day, and wanting to read them. I'm like, no, this one's not appropriate. This one's not appropriate. And then I was like, well, I got to do something that's appropriate. So I think that was the initial impulse, was to do a book that she could read, pick up and read or give to her friends, And
well, yeah.
But yeah, ultimately the book is all about everything we like, and we just jammed it into it.
Yeah.
Into one book. So.
It's a little bit of both. I mean, it was a conscious decision. We could have done a book that we completely loved, but that was a little more not quite all ages. But we both feel like, and I think the market's. I think there's a lot of people moving in this direction, but yeah, I mean, it's important to have young readers in comics, and it's important to have something that I can share with, friends and family that they can get into without worry about the content. Yeah, so yeah, it was a decision we did make, but again, it was about us also drawing everything we wanted to draw.
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, historically, if we look at it, most comics were aimed at all ages, and not at kids, but at all ages, that they could be shared with everybody, and that, I think it's actually really good that the market's finally moving back to that place.
Well, that's the distinction. Yeah, I mean, when we did this book, it's an all ages book, and that it's a book we would actually enjoy reading ourselves. It's not made for kids, but it's made for everyone. Sort of, in the way that a book like Bone is.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like books that were directed at kids because I wanted to read above myself. I wanted to read what the adults were reading, so I kind of resented the fact that there were kids' books. I wanted to read whatever. I can't think of an example. But that's why I hated Robin. I'm like, they put Robin in there because they thought kids would like Robin, and I didn't like Robin. I only liked Batman.
I've actually never met a kid who likes Robin.
Right, I know, because
pretty much every kid hates Robin.
Other kids.
Says the guy who just did a comic book with it.
Yeah, but it's Colt. Colt's the cool one.
I disagree.
Yeah, I do disagree with that. Poppy's awesome, but she's smarter than her age, and I think that's what is appealing to me about her.
But she's still a brat.
Yeah.
That actually really goes well with Parker and Jack's next question. Why can't Colt figure out the code when Poppy can? 'Cause she's smarter.
Yeah. Well, I think Matt drops a line in there that she has a, what do you call it?
Yeah, but she can remember everything that she sees.
Or she reads.
Yeah. It's what is it called? Come on, you kids know this book.
I just read it again.
It's a made-up word.
Yeah, it is a made-up word.
I can remember it.
Yes. But typographic memory.
Typographic memory. She remembers everything she reads, so she can remember it. Plus, my daughter's 13. She's already twice as good at math as I ever was. And so I think that it's completely possible that she could solve the puzzle and pull it down. That's realistic.
I kind of like the one part where they're bringing the tea to when he's bringing the tea to Poppy, and it's like the old parrot up to its tricks again because he's going through this area with all these people mopping. So sort of up to interpretation of what that means.
I'm glad you got it.
I was going with comment.
Yeah,
it's a poop joke.
Yeah, it's a poop joke.
Everybody loves a poop joke, though.
Yeah, you're never.
Everybody poops. Exactly. And I think my last question here, and it's probably a really obvious one, but I assume that you guys were big when kids. Oh, we lost them again? See, you asked them about Johnny Quest, and it's just like, screw you! So Johnny Quest is like, he's like a little adventurer boy who goes out with his best friend, and there's two adults who sort of, who the idea is that they're the ones who are actually taking care of everything, but it's actually the kids who do everything.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've seen it.
Yeah. You should check it out.
Sure.
Yep. Johnny Quest is cool. There we go.
We're back.
All right.
Okay, we're back.
All right. It's all good. So my question was Johnny Quest. Were you guys big Johnny Quest fans? Because there's certainly a certain Questian.
I think I came to Johnny Quest late, so I'm not as versed in it. But I bet Matt is probably a Johnny Quest fan.
I love Johnny Quest. Yeah, he's awesome. I just rewatched those with my daughter a couple years ago, and I was amazed at. I was surprised how dark they were. People were always being shot, and cars were going off cliffs and exploding. And I was like, cartoons aren't like that anymore. For better or worse.
Right.
Which is they're better with that, frankly. You know.
But there's just as much.
I actually always think the best children's stuff is stuff that's dark and does not shy away from that darkness, because darkness is in the world, and how do you learn about stuff other than art teaching it?
Anybody who knows anything will tell you that's how children will deal with those sort of things. It's safe. It's a safe place for them to go. It's through fiction to deal with these dark things, because they live in the same world. They live in the same world, But yeah, I agree. I movies are always a little creepy or a little scary. Yeah, but I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's also a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But with a more fantastic, twist to it. Yeah, we probably have a lot of else is in there, but yeah, there's. I mean, again, it's everything we love.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, and it came across very well. All right, I think we're running out of time here. Do we have anything left from the gallery? What are you drawing? That looks really nice.
I don't know.
That's cool. That's nice, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's
nice.
Good. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't
It's a
it?
little stick figure. It's like a giant cat thing with little stick figures right there.
Does it have things on its back?
Does it what?
Does it have?
Oh yeah, it has ridges or something, right?
Yeah, it has spikes.
The spikes, nice.
So it's a dino cat.
Yeah. There you go, dino cat.
Good idea.
That's a good idea I just had. It's a cat with ridges on
Look
it.
at
Good idea. So you know who to sue if Dino Cat appears anywhere.
This is now you understand the creative process and where ideas come from.
Yeah.
That's great. So anyway, does anybody have any more comments or thoughts? Or Ben's got one.
Yeah, just last comment. I just love the art style of this, and the writing as well. It's just like
awesome. Yeah, thanks.
But mostly the art.
That's fine. I mean, the art is both of us, so and it is a comic book.
Yeah.
It's a visual medium, so I'll take that. We appreciate it.
It doesn't exist if there's no art in it.
Yeah, very good. All right.
Oh, thank you for showing what's in her purse.
Oh, my last comment is like there's like a heavy dose of Deus Ex Machina in here, like how the captain is always there, even though everything they tell him is distorted.
Yeah.
It just always sudden.
I love that you know what Deus Ex Machina is.
I know. You said that. You pronounce that way better than I do.
You pronounce it way better than most professionals I know.
Yeah.
Though usually Deus Ex Machina means it refers to how to finish it. So they literally have God come out and finish it for them.
No, I don't
So this is a little different than that.
No, I thought of Deus Ex Machina as a way. It's like suddenly the good thing happens,
Right.
everyone's saved.
Yeah.
It's not like they don't know how it's just.
Yeah. The difference, I think, is if it's internally consistent with the narrative or not. You know, and in this case, I think it is internally consistent. Yeah. So.
Because it happens over and over.
Very good. So, excellent. Well, I wanna thank you guys for your time this morning, and I want to thank you for doing Poppy. And I think I speak for all of us here that we would love to see more of this. If you guys ever do a sequel, we'd like to find out more about Pappy. And I mean, I read this and I thought they could get 7 or 8 more books out of this if they wanted to.
Oh yeah.
I hope you guys do. So.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
We appreciate everybody taking the time to come out and talk with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say that next month's book is going to be King of Kazoo here, which is really, really fun. This is just as uncorrected proof. And what? What did you say, Doug? Oh, you weren't talking to me. Okay. So next month's book is King of Kazoo, and we're going to have Norm Fwetty, not in person. He'll be on video as well, but we get what we do.
Who is that? Who is that by?
This is King of Kazoo by Norm, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Fwetty, it looks like Feuti. Yeah, yeah. He's it's very very kind of cartoony, if you can see. I don't know.
Yeah. Who's the publisher?
So it's Scholastic Graphics.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Yeah. So smart, funny book. It's really slapsticky and fun. Yeah, it's a good thing. So
I will look for it myself.
And so yeah, absolutely. So that's it for everybody, and we will see you next month. And thanks. What? Oh, she colored it in. Nice. Let's see the color. Wait,
let's see
put that up on the screen.
I need some color ideas.
Color. There you go.
I like it.
That's great.
All right, I like that.
Little guy.
Yeah.
And with that, we will say goodbye. Thank you guys for your time so much.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And we'll see you guys next month.
All right.